Morning, everybody. It is early this morning, but we are live on everywhere that I can think of right now. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Landscaping to the Point. I'm your host, Scott, and I have my other two hosts right underneath me, JC underneath me, Josh all the way at the bottom. He always likes the bottom for some reason. I don't know. It's one of those things, we enjoy that he's on. So, thank you guys for being on. We're going to have a great talk. First things first, though, we want to talk about all the fun stuff that we got going on. This week's been really fun with 75 Day Hard. Josh, how are you doing with this 75 hard?
I'm doing fair, I think.
Fair.
It's been challenges as far as organization is the schedule, and it's going to get harder this week where we're going full-fledged back to work this week, and so we'll see. But I'm still on track. I think it's just organizing the schedule and really setting down some habits. But so far, so good. I haven't fallen off yet. We're on day 8 today?
Yeah,
day 8, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'd say it's been interesting. First day was hard for me, just because, like you said, time management, trying to figure out how to organize everything and put it in the right way. Had some long days, so I like to take my 2 workouts and do them back to back. And there's been a couple days that have been really cutting it close. I know the one day I was doing my walk outside at it was like 9 o'clock, pitch black, so it was kind of I had all my safety gear on, but I was like, okay, this is really interesting trying to get this last workout in beforehand. And then the whole issue with water, it's just, I was telling my wife yesterday, it's during the summer, I don't feel like there's an issue with drinking a gallon of water. During the summer, I feel right now it's hard. I'm not dehydrated. I'm not thirsty as much as I am right now, but drinking that water is getting me to where I'm slamming waters at the end of the night. So, Josh, how are you doing with that water
though? Fair. To be honest, I did give myself kind of like a week training period prior to starting because I know that my water intake was horrible throughout the winter. So, one thing we were just talking about beforehand is, I try to break it up into smaller cups. I'll drink out of my bottle when I'm on the road and stuff, but at home, sit in the office, I'll pour these cups and I'll drink 7 or 8 of these cups, within an hour, and I'm knocking it down a lot quicker. I do notice, if I'm, if I just I have there's a half a gallon bottle here. If I bring that with me, I may not knock that out as fast if I get busy, but if I sit down and I actually throw it into a cup, that'll help. I haven't been drinking soda or anything like that. I do drink coffee. I try to substitute whenever I'm having a meal. If I have juice or a tea or something, I go to the water instead. So, the substitution helps as well.
Well, that's good. I think that's one of the things that I think it's hard for all of us to try to grasp of that drinking. The book, I enjoy my book. I don't know about what are you reading again, Josh?
I'll show you right now. I have it right here. This is my first one. It's Negotiating the Non-Negotiable. It's about basically how to handle charged conflict in relationships, whether that's work, wife or husband or friendships or something. So it just teaches you some skill based.
Nice, yeah.
Tactic.
Yeah. I got Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's pretty interesting. He's gone into some reasons why certain companies do certain things, and that you should, a lot of customers want to buy your services, but if you don't tell them exactly what services and why you perform them, then it makes it easier for your customer to buy it. So, if you're explaining something, explain why you need to, to change this out or why this, plan isn't working perfectly in your landscape. It helps out, educate the customer for you in the long run and for them. So it was so far it's been very interesting. I've gotten pretty good far into it. So JC, I know you're doing soft. So how's the donuts working?
Still delicious. It's like we were talking about, I don't know if we talked about it last week, but I was saying how junk food is actually good for your health. And if you eat it and mentally you feel good, then it's good for your mental health. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I mean, I think it sucks, because there's been a couple times that I want to eat something really good, and I'm like, yeah, I can't. I got to stick to a diet. So,
yeah,
I know there was my wife bought some ice cream sandwiches, and I was like, oh, sweet, I need to have one of those, and she's like, no, you're on a diet. You're not having one of those. So,
see, now that's good though that
You
you
know.
have that support system. You have
yeah,
accountability.
yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I probably would have dropped off like after the second day, probably, if she wasn't there. So, yes, it's very good. So, yeah.
What's your diet consist of?
I'm trying to eat healthier, which is pretty much we haven't been eating a lot of vegetables, so eating vegetables and fruits a lot more. I got away from like usually during the day I'll stop at the gas station, eat like a gas station pizza or something like that. I'm trying to get away from that, so I haven't stopped at the gas station at all this week except for to get water, because I forgot water the one day. So that actually worked out real good. And then just getting away from all the packaging foods like the donuts and all that stuff that can it's just so much sugar and carbs, and it's one of the things that I think helps out if you can cut a lot of that sugar and wasted carbs out of your life. So
All that processed food.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh? What are you doing?
My biggest thing is no bakery. We chatted about that real quick yesterday. That's hard, man. That's really hard because I've always had a habit of going to Dunks and getting, my hot coffee, my egg wrap, and my donut, a coffee roll. So like going and not ordering it is like it's like I'm sinning almost. Like I'm not doing it. So it's been really hard to. The first couple days it was like whatever. I think adrenaline got me. Like the ego boost was there, and I was like, all right. But like the past couple days, I'm like, I really want fucking pastry. Holy shit! Like wow, like I really want it. And I will say that I do feel a little bit better because that's a lot of my sugar intake throughout the day. When I did this, I was telling Jensen yesterday, when I did 75 hard like a year or two ago, I think I went in like a little too aggressive. I went in with like calorie counting, no carbs, zero processed, and this was off the bat. I didn't scale up to all that stuff. So like right now, I said I'm going to do no bakery and no sugar. I said, all right, let me calm down a little bit because I'm a big sugar head. So I've been doing really well with not consuming the amount of sugar I typically do. I still get sugar in my coffee, and I'll scale that back, but I'm not grabbing like candy bars. The bakery's out of the question. Like anything added or processed refined sugar, I'm not using. What I will do is I have the cane sugar, not the cane sugar, it's coconut sugar. It's a little healthier for you. I'll eventually switch over to that when I get to that point because I did no sugar for a while when I did that, and I felt amazing. But I think I set myself up for failure just because the discipline wasn't there to begin with. And I just like out of the gate was like, I'm doing all this. So this time around, I'm baby steps up to it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to do it. I think it's easier if you kind of plan it and try to ease it into it beforehand too, because I think if we didn't ease into it beforehand, I think it would be a little bit harder if you're just like straight at it and just go right straight into it. Like you had said before, like you kind of starting to drink a lot more water beforehand. And I think that it makes it easier if you're not like, if you go right into it and you cold turkey, like all your sugar, all that good stuff out of your thing, man, by that first week, it's like a hell week, you're like, what the heck, what am I doing? Yeah. So I think it's a good thing that by easing into it. So, yeah.
Unrelated to like, to 75 hard, there was about a 2-month span that I did the carnivore diet. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah.
But it's all just meat. So you could have like no vegetables, no rice, no carbs, no nothing, just meat. And a lot of that consisted of steak, like ribeye steak. I did chicken, bacon, eggs. You could have eggs, drinking just water. And I felt good after about 2 weeks of doing that.
Right.
Because it's basically you're cutting all sugar and everything, all that bad stuff out of it anyways. So it takes a while to adjust. But yeah, I felt a lot better doing it. I don't think that was something that I could do forever, but after the 2 months, I started adding the vegetables to it, and then the brown rice and things like that. But yeah, there was a benefit to it for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So, have you seen any benefit, Josh, so far?
No, not really. I think I'm waking up a little less foggy. Like for us, obviously, for me, being a snow guy in the winter, my schedule is all over the place.
Okay.
We don't do a lot of like the maintenance stuff, and we haven't had a lot of crazy volume as far as like inquiries with work. So we've been slow to start the season. So kind of getting back into a rhythm is nice. We're like, I'm up 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm out the door. Like I brush my teeth, and I'm out the door on my first walk. So my walk's about an hour. I come back, and then I'm gone. I'm gone for work. So getting back into that rhythm helps. I'm not going to say like I feel healthy or anything right now. I mean, it's only been a week,
Right?
So we'll see. I weighed in and at the beginning on day one, and I probably won't weigh out until the end of the month. I don't see the purpose of constantly checking the scale. I think it's more for me like the mental clarity. Like I know I have a very hectic Monday tomorrow, so I'm hoping in doing all this, I can start, getting back to where I was before and setting up my day for success. But no, I haven't noticed any significant changes as of yet.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't really noticed much yet. But I'm, like you said, we're pretty hectic right now, or first full week of mowing and a bunch of other stuff going on, equipment breaking down, and just busy. That's the first 2 months of my season here is busy because of end of the year school with our kids and all these different things going on and concerts and all kinds of stuff. So it's one of those things that's really hectic this time of year. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, I think it'll work out better and it'll get better, I think. So it's awesome.
The one thing I do like about this challenge or whatnot is like the one thing I learned a while ago was like your non-negotiables for the day, right? Like you have your non-negotiables, like regardless of what's going on in your life, you have these non-negotiables that you cannot change. Like whether it's, you're going to go sit outside and just have a moment of stillness of nothing, like just to clear your mind. This is pretty much the same thing where it's like, these are non-negotiables. These are things you have to do, and you're doing them for yourself. So at the same time, I feel like what it's teaching you along the way is like some things you just have to get done. Where like you put off, you procrastinate, you're avoiding that challenge in the day that has to do with work or your social life. Now it's like, no, you got to get it done. Because like you said, sometimes the other night you're dealing with probably reading and 2 workouts. You got kids, you got the wife, you got the pets. And it's like, shit, it's 9 o'clock. How are you going to get it all done? I've had the same day where I've had to run down and just completely exhausted from the day. I'm like, all right, like I got to get my weights in. Like, the dog walks don't count. The 2 quick dog walks don't count for the exercise because that's part of my normality. Right. But running downstairs and hitting the weights, sometimes can be a little challenge. Last night we went into, we were in Boston and I had, I banged out my workout. I banged out 3/4 of my water, my reading before I went. But getting back, man, holy crap, I was exhausted. Like getting down there to just do some I mean, like I gimped it through that last workout. When I say I gimped it, I mean I gimped it. Like I was sandbagging the weights. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we were busy all day yesterday. We were at Notre Dame Stadium, so I mean, I didn't drink a lot of water there. And then all the way home, it was like pounding water. Got home, I'm pounding water. Like, man, I got to get that.
Pounding water. He's pounding that water.
Got to get it done. I got to drink this water. But yeah, it's I think, yeah, like you said, you get used to it and you it's a commitment that you got to fulfill and make sure that it's getting done. So it pushes you into a nice mind state. So one thing before we finish up with this, do you feel, and I was asked this by a friend of mine, after the fact, once you're done with it, will you continue to drink 1 gallon of water? And will you continue to try to do both things, all this together?
The water definitely, yeah. I know how important the water intake is just in general, and especially what we do, being outdoor workers. I think I'm going to implement a lot of it. I don't know if I would do it on the daily. I mean, I want to get through this first, and then we'll see where it goes. You know,
Right. Oh yeah. I think
I want to create the positive habits. You know, that's more or less what it is.
right. Yeah. I think yeah, the water should be no problem. I think, for me, the reading, like I think I'm learning a lot more stuff, and I think that's one of the things I think I'm going to start doing is continue to read and the water, and at least get one workout in a day. Like I mean it's not that hard to go out and do one workout a day. Like really, take 45 minutes to do one workout a day. Do an hour, devote an hour worth of time and do a workout, because it makes it better for you in the long run. So
I would do I know we got to get off this, but like I remember before when I did this, I think I had the mowing rod. I can't remember, but or maybe I didn't. But I was doing like implementing like calisthenics. Like I do lunges during work. Like if I was walking a paver somewhere, I would try to do 10 lunges there, 10 lunges back, and implement that into it. So I mean, you're right. I mean, you can one workout a day is not hard to devote half an hour, 45 minutes.
No, take that weed whip, lift it up and down as you're walking through the yard. Come on. Like do something, get the muscles moving. So, all right. So JC had a great topic here that we want to jump on for JC. And so JC, the community of green professionals or friends of the green industry that you talk to with on a basic every like week, daily, whatever. How do you go about that?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of contact?
Yeah, there's certain people that I've met and followed just on social media through Instagram when I first started posting stuff online, and within entering this green community, I would say, and going to the expos, the Equip Expo, getting to meet people. But there are certain people that I still kind of gravitate a little closer more towards, like. We're all friends, but there may be a few that are more you stay in more contact with on a more frequent basis. So there's a lot of guys that I followed. Like when I first started on Instagram and social media, one of the first people that I followed was Seth the Lawn Surgeon, and like we don't talk too often, but every now and then we'll shoot each other a message, and it's kind of cool when we're able to kind of go down to the expo each year and meet up and just kind of catch up on things. And that's what makes this community pretty cool. Currently right now I'm wearing Chancing Vonks' hat. He gave this to me at the expo, and Wally from Beach River. This is his shirt. So like, just so it's kind of random that I'm actually wearing it, but those are just some of the people that I kind of gravitate towards more. So, within there's a lot of others like Caleb Robin from Caleb's Property Maintenance. He's out of Pennsylvania. He's probably one of my closer friends on social media and in person too, and then obviously you guys, it's no secret with that. You guys have been there since the beginning. Even doing this podcast together with all three of us. And then I got to say, most of the people that we've been a part of the Echo Means Business community with, just throughout the years, even after the fact, we still stay in touch with a lot of people, and we build upon those relationships. So I thought it was a pretty cool topic. I mean, I just kind of point out some of the guys that you kind of associate with more and are able to ask questions and get advice from. And if you need something business related, you could always ask for their opinions.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of them out there. Josh, you want to touch on some of these that you follow?
Yeah. You, JC.
He follows himself. That's it.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
I don't know. Like, I mean, there's guys I chat with here and there. Like, I wouldn't necessarily label them friendships or whatnot. Like, they're guys like, it's like, hey, good work, on and out. But I mean, through the Echo Means Business program that we were all a part of and essentially all went through, I still chat with a few guys through there. Some of the program coordinators I still have relationships with that aren't even a part of that program anymore. There's not really anybody like I talk to on there, or go through be like some hype, bonus hype and stuff. But again, I've never been like a GIE guy or any of that stuff. So
I'm looking through my
Yeah,
DMs
you've
right
never been
now.
to GI.
I'm looking through my DMs right now.
Who's your first five?
Josh. I got Josh and you. I have Melanie. She's on there. Justin from Spartan Tree Solutions. I have Executive Cuts Landscaping. P&H. So Nick from P&H. Jake the Lawn Kid. Chris Miller, he's out of Hudson, Massachusetts. He does kind of like lawn consulting on the side.
that's the green guy, the fertilizer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, get at it.
Eli from Balthazar Lawn Care. So I talk to him every now and then. Christian, I'm saying his last name wrong, Schlogel.
Yeah.
Geez, Wally. I haven't talked to Wally in a while though, but he's on there. Yeah, there's a bunch of people. And that's just naming some.
I don't want to leave anybody out. So Tino and Ricky are a few that I talk to a bit. To change means and stuff. Snow.
Tino's on mine. Yep.
Yeah. Not a lot. Like a lot of the snow guys, Alex Carey. We met through E&B, chat with him. A lot of snow accounts and stuff, kind of just like asking questions about. Sorry, the dog's being a pest right now. A lot of snow companies, they kind of just chop it up and ask questions with more or less about like equipment and stuff, equipment purchases. So, yeah, pretty much it.
So now, do you guys feel like, okay, from when you first started, do you feel like you know more people in the lawn care community and the green industry than you have when you first started?
Oh, 100%.
Like online or like, what do you mean first?
All over the place. I mean, I know, when I first started, the first, 10 years, it was like you didn't talk to another lawn care guy unless it was someone that worked with you, and if they moved to another company, you were like, I don't know who the hell you are anymore. It was like one of those things.
Yeah.
But now I feel like, driving through some of these neighborhoods where, I know closely, say, probably like 10 out of 200 companies where I know the people that work there. I know the owners, we follow each other on, social media. It's like when you drive through there, you're like, you wave at them, you can, they'll stop, you'll talk to each other real quick, say, what's going on? You guys busy? Are you busy? What's going on? It's one of those things. And then they also talk, they text you and say, hey, I got a couple of them that'll text me and say, hey, what are you thinking, when it comes to snow removal? When do you think you're going to start doing the cleanups? When are you going to start doing fall cleanups? When are you going to do mulch? It's one of those things. I think that it's helpful to talk to them and build that green industry community, no matter if it's outside of here or in the area. What's your guys' thoughts?
I mean, it all comes down to networking. It's basically how building your company up, and like you said yourself, it kind of comes with the way things are now with technology and today's day and age. Like, back in the 90s or early 2000s, you kind of did things on your own. You figured stuff out on your own, or if you had somebody that was a close friend that owned another business, maybe you had them to pick their brain on certain things. But for the most part, you're figuring a lot of things by yourself, which isn't a bad thing. That's how you kind of learn sometimes. But it's always good to have a network of people, especially people that are in different categories. You have your tree cutting services, you have your pavers, you have different types of businesses. And Scott left. But anyways, you have a different type of businesses. And if you ever wanted to kind of do something different and offer a different type of service, you always had somebody you could reach out to, at least now, to pick their brain and kind of talk to them and see what their advice and thoughts are, for you to kind of jump into that endeavor. I'm sure you reach out to a lot of different companies too, or had.
like so like locally, definitely like and like that was the one thing, like out of the gate, you know, I was asking questions. I would stop, I would chat with guys, I would email out the companies, just to introduce myself. On the online aspect of it, like Instagram and Facebook, I was never huge on social media, just or really like engaging in social media, just because I didn't see the value in it, because I wasn't more of a B2B, like a business to business type person. It was more like my target is people that want to spend money with me, not people that want to like follow me and chit chat. And I think that's part of the reason why like I never grew the business so much on social media, which I am starting to see the value of that now, and having people, you know, network in the online community. But definitely as far as networking in person in town, I know a lot more people now, and people are able to search up who I am as far as a business owner and see kind of like my credibility and what I've done and where I am and stuff. So I know a lot more people now, and it's a lot easier to just reach out to guys or girls than it was, you know, when I started this.
Do you find yourself now like on the opposite end of things? Like instead of reaching out to somebody for advice, you find a lot of people reaching out to you?
Both. I mean, I'll tell you, I still ask questions. That's the one thing. My ego never gets the best of me. Like I will continue to learn. I don't know everything. Even the stuff that I think that I know, and I'm set in my ways and I'm stubborn, I've been proven to learn that sometimes there is a better way. So I'll always ask questions. And yeah, no, there's definitely people that have reached out to me and asked me pricing structure and what I do. And, you know, and I'm transparent of like, you know, this is kind of my weaker side, you know, so I'll give you, you know, my best advice and how I do it. But you might want to ask someone that's, you know, a specialist in this area or who is going to be successful in it. Scott's on the bottom by now, by the way.
He likes the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, that's shit talking.
Yeah, I'm back in. Guys. I'm having issues today, so.
Oh, get your shit
I'm still
together,
here.
buddy. Get your shit together. Let's go. What the fuck is wrong with you? Pay your bill. It's all them tornadoes out there.
It's just on my one computer. Yeah, it's all this wind out here.
Yeah, so we were just I was just asking I was asking Josh, Scott, that like on the flip side of things, as opposed to like using the resource of knowing a lot of different people within the industry that you could just kind of contact and message, your time since you started posting things on social media, you know, meeting people at the expo, being a part of the Echo Means Business program, do you find yourself now being the person where people are reaching out to you and asking you questions more so than you reaching out to other people? And he's frozen.
Let's get with it, dude. Are you there?
Yeah, it's so funny. All right, so for the audience, so obviously we've known that Josh has had his issues with his microphone. So I think Scott today particularly was kind of giving Josh a little bit of crap.
Yeah, he was.
And look what's going on now.
How the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's probably those are probably the effects of the 75 hard that he's doing.
Yeah.
He's losing control of everything.
That's funny. He was trying to indirectly bust my balls all this morning before the show. Oh, and he's he wanted to be on top. That's what it was. The ego.
Yeah. I'm back. Don't worry, guys. All right. So
your voices, we can't see you though.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'll get back on. Just hang on. Stop it. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Screw this. You know, I'm back. Let's do this.
Yeah. So I was asking you, do you find yourself on the other side of things now after being on social media for so long and being a part of the expo and then being a part of Echo Means Business? Like, you know, obviously you have the resources to kind of reach out to some friendships, to reach out to people and ask questions. Do you find yourself now like having people ask you for more things?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm getting more people talk to me. People ask me stuff. Like you got Acme down there. Acme, his son reaches out to me every once in a while. We talked a little bit. Sorry, Ben. I mean, you know, your son's great. So sorry. I think you lost your position at the Acme building. So, but yeah, I mean, I get a lot of guys that reach out to me too. not only do I reach out back to them about stuff, but they reach to me, you know, and it's good not only as a lawn care community or green industry community, for just anybody out there, but it's nice to you get information and you can talk to them about certain things and they can talk back to you. Like Tino has asked me multiple times on like, hey, how do I put this many flowers in a bed? Like, how do you plan it out? How do you come up with your figures on that? You know, and I'm willing to give that information out to a lot of our green industry pros. And like I said before, like you wouldn't tell anybody anything, you know, and it's like, yeah, that, you know, there still is a little bit of you know, I'd say like a price thing to where you're not telling everybody certain things, but like certain stuff, we're telling each other everything on the price wise. Like, hey, we're doing pavers for this much. We're doing, you know, mulch for this much. You know, our mowing might be different because your mowing is going to be always different because your time and how many people you're putting on there and what your back end is and all your you know, your whatever it is that you take to get that point. But sometimes it's easier if you kind of communicate with somebody that, you know, even if it's across social media, even if it's, you know, I talked to somebody the other day, literally that's in Australia that had a question about something. And it was like, yeah, we have the different grass, but he was asking like on how to do a certain mulch job and how I come up with the pricing on it. And that's something that like really, you know, years ago when I first started, there was no social like this, and you wouldn't even talk to, you know, anybody over, you know, the United States. Now across Canada, Australia, Europe, you know, it's a big difference now.
Yeah.
So
I really think as much as I sometimes think that like social media has more negativity than there is positivity, like there you have to kind of like realize and be grateful for the positivity ends of things. Like, you know, being able to go to one location where everybody from the United States kind of meets once a year and just kind of hangs out. That's pretty cool. And then, you know, going back to my experience where being a part of Echo Means Business and, you know, having that relationship with Echo, where when I went on vacation, you know, I was able to take a tour in a whole different country, you know, and just having that was awesome. You know what I mean? Just to be able to go somewhere else on the other side of the world and have some type of, you know, partnership or have some type of hookup where you have the same interests and they were able to kind of show me how things are done over there and things that they're working on. That was really cool. I mean, you know, again, that was on my own time, but it was an interest that I had and I was able to experience that. So if it wasn't for all like social media, us three wouldn't be on this podcast right now.
Right. Here, I got a good question for you. I mean, before EMB, I wasn't involved in as much into social media. And I know a lot of guys aren't involved as much into social media when they join EMB. Do you think if you didn't join EMB, would you be more involved as you are now?
That's a great question. I think being a part of Echo Means Business motivated me to be more active on it. When I first, and Josh will tell you, because I died down quite a bit. Josh will tell you that when I first started doing Instagram, like I was like putting content up every day. I was kind of like putting myself out there quite a bit, and I kind of built. Not that I have a huge following at all by any means, but I kind of built up my numbers a little bit, and then I kind of plateaued. And I think if it wasn't for Echo Means Business, I wouldn't have continued. I haven't been doing anything recently, but if it wasn't for Echo Means Business, I wouldn't have continued on with that. So I'm kind of thankful for that. And to answer your question, I guess, yeah, it definitely helped me to kind of post more and be more involved in the community.
What about you, Josh?
I think on the Instagram page I had prior to EMB, I had maybe like 6 posts. So I don't think I was active at all on social media. It wasn't really my thing. I had barely watched any YouTube or anything. I wasn't really into like the whole like reality type shit that you would post. You know, I was a private person in general. kind of in my own way, so I didn't really care. So yeah, I think joining EMB, definitely pushed you, because part of the requirement was that you had to produce content and put it on social. So I don't think that I would have engaged with as many people in lawn care, construction, landscape had I had not been a part of EMB. So it definitely changed it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
But like at the end of the day, I'm like thinking, like, aside from a few friendships, like the show now and everything, I'm like, I always think, like, what have I gained from it?
right.
Like gain was the experience from EMB. There were a few things just like Jobber in the past that I had done, but like I don't know if it's because I didn't put forth the effort. I didn't, and I'm not a content creator by any means. Like JC, when he said he blew up, JC came out of nowhere, out of left field, and all of a sudden this guy just like shot up, and he was all over the place, and he did a good job with how his marketing strategy or just how he was producing the content. And he did, like, he just shot up, and he was like the guy for a while. I started putting the feet pics out there, and that kind of plateaued him. But I think like the one thing I've learned is like the day and age that we're in right now with any sort of business or any sort of like sales, like even if you work for a company and your sales is like real estate, commerce and like that, like social media is such a free platform that like you can really network yourself and get yourself out there. Like it's such an amazing tool. And I'm sure like, old heads that were in their 30s and 40s and like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s would have utilized this, because what was it back then? It was the fucking yellow pages, the classifieds and like the Boston Globe or your local newspaper. I mean, what were TV ads? Tens of thousands of dollars. Now when you can go on and throw $500 on a Facebook ad or just jump into a group or create a page and just constantly hit it with content. I'm just not good with, as easy as it sounds, with picking up the phone. I'm sorry, my dog is going after my slipper while I'm trying to fucking talk. He's driving me nuts. Picking up your phone, you got your camera, your computer right there where you can record it and you can upload it to whatever platform you want. I mean, I think it's amazing. So I think there's a lot of power and ability behind social media.
Yeah, I think also too, by doing some of the social media, it actually puts you out there more. So when somebody looks up your company, they're going to see that, hey, if they look at mine, they're looking like, hey, Scott's been in this magazine, this magazine, this magazine. He's done, he's been part of the EMB. He's, he has a podcast. He has this going on Instagram, Facebook, all these things. And customers can go back and see that stuff and realize what kind of stuff you do. And it gives you more advertisement, I feel like. And, and not only throughout the green industry, but as a customer, it shows like, hey, this guy's there. He's been there. I can see his results by going to all of his pages.
My only thing with that, like, sorry to cut you, but my only thing with that is like the business to business. Like I get some of it, but if it's like a hobby, it's one thing. What's the benefit of like having 10,000 landscapers follow your business account if they're not clicking on your website or nothing, rather than having 10,000 people that would potentially spend money with you?
I'll answer that one. And just from my own perspective, I never, when I was doing a lot of posts and stuff, I was never doing it with the mindset of like, I didn't even have a business back then. I wasn't even part-time. I was doing it more of a hobby, and it was motivation. Like it doing those posts, meeting the people kind of inspired, like people like you guys inspired me to start a part-time business of it, because I was mowing lawns like on a volunteer basis when my mom was doing Meals on Wheels for elderly clients. So that's how I kind of got my foot in the door when it came to the landscaping part of things. But I am originally more of a lawn, like turf management kind of guy. And I was just doing those posts as fun, something to entertain myself, something to kind of work towards, and everything else is just an added benefit. But there's certainly more than one different reason why people decide to create social media accounts and posts and things like that. Like if your goal is to expand your business and network with more people and gain more knowledge and put your business out there, you can make that work for you. If it's something that you just want to have some fun and meet some people and, have a purpose for something, to occupy your time or just kind of become better at something, then that's a good reason to do it as well too. Like, I mean, I think there's several different reasons, but when it came to me, I never did it to expand a business, and I never had one to begin with. I just kind of learned from it from there.
Yeah, I think that gets people out there because then, like you said, some people might want to, pursue a dream of mowing grass or start a side hustle so they can go to these people in the green industry and learn a little bit of stuff, because I think we're all out there trying to help people and to learn also. I mean, there's a lot of things like Josh still hasn't, invited me out to his house and teach me how to do, patios, because I mean, I've been asking him for years and he still doesn't do this, but eventually maybe he will get into it and invite me out. I mean, I'm inviting him out here for all kinds of stuff,
It was open.
It's funny. Like, I think some people, it's wishful thinking. Like for the person that opens up an account and it's like, you know what, I want to be the next influencer, and it's like, they realize that it's a lot more work than what it looks like. Everybody wants the dream, or not everybody, but a lot of people kind of strive for that dream of like having a huge following. But with a huge following comes a huge expectation of continuously posting content to keep your followers following you and getting opportunities from companies and stuff like that. It is a lot of work. Constantly creating content. You have to have time for it. That's why like it could get to a point where it plateaus. And that kind of what happened to me. Again, my purpose wasn't to become an influencer. My purpose was just kind of doing this on my own time as something fun and motivational and something that I could look forward to kill time with. And it ended up organically growing into what it became. Not that it was much, but what it became. And then I'm like, at some point I was like, man, I got to keep this up because people are following me. I have to give them more, more content. And maybe I was getting burnt out a little bit. I don't know. But again, it's like, yeah, it's you have to find what your true purpose is and why you want to do it and stick with that. If it becomes something down the road that you're able to manage, then continue on forward with it. But don't have an unrealistic perspective and then find yourself like, man, like with too much to carry on your shoulders. Cause that's how social media could be negative towards you.
Right. But I think that there's also, when it comes to social media, like nowadays, you might have a crap load of followers. And I kind of watched one of these guys the other day. He's been getting lots and lots of followers. Okay. He did a live and there was only 4 people on. If you have a lot of people following you, you should have a lot more than 4 people following you, and when he goes to your post, when you're only getting 150 to 200 views on a post, you could have a crap load of followers, but unless you have people that are engaged in you and want to know your info facts and to continue to, come and see what you got, what's the point of having so many followers?
Very true. Very, very true.
I think you the followers you have, if you go to mine, definitely go to mine. A lot of them are lawn and landscape guys. They're not, Joe Blow or this guy from over here, over in this part of the country that's following you, that doesn't come back but one time to see one post and like it. No, I got people that follow me because of what I do and why I do it. And I think that's what we all should have, really, and that's my opinion, and I think everybody else has their own opinion, yeah, like Nick says, a lot of followers are paid for followers. You can buy followers. I don't want to buy followers. I'm not that kind of guy, and I don't think a lot of people should pay for that. And if you're doing that to try to get that big reward of being sponsored by somebody, for what?
Yeah.
But I also think that that influencer market became so saturated with, like, I mean, bullshit artists. You have a lot of guys that were just trying to paint this picture of what they were, and they weren't on that level, and they were exposed, or things came through and they lost their credibility. Where I think it's a lot harder to earn the credibility online, because I mean, anybody can bullshit their way through anything, you know, and it's whether or not. And again, if the content's engaging, you're gonna watch. Like, what's the biggest thing people like to watch? Controversy, you know,
Right.
like Scott. Every single podcast, your hair comes up. You could literally, and I'm saying this because, like, I know guys that have literally spoke a little bit of controversy in a post, and the post is blown up with the sole purpose of advertising the person or business. But people get so caught up in the comments and the arguments, they forget what the post was about. And now this post has gone fucking viral because people want to talk about Scott's hair, not what he was talking about. But at the same time, the message gets out. People follow because they want to see what it leads up to. It's crazy. But I mean, there's a way to manipulate it. But I do think that influencer circle kind of like is filtered down a little bit. I don't think that people are as influential as they used to be on social. I think now it's maybe like quality of content, you know, of what you're putting out more than just like I think it became like such a hype man. Like you had like the Grant Cardones of the world, the Gary V's of the world, and people just kind of copycatted off that. And it's like, all right, like,
you know what it is too. People there used to be influencers. There's no influencers anymore. Now they're entrepreneurs, and they change. they change from influencers to entrepreneurs. Okay, and now they're focused on benefiting and making money for themselves. Now, again, me not wanting to be that, my strategy, and it wasn't really much of a strategy because it came genuinely. The way I would end up getting my followers, or people that kind of stayed loyal to my social media, was my point was to find smaller accounts and promote them. Like I'd put a story, hey, follow this guy. This guy just started his landscape company. He's crushing it. And then the few followers that I'd get that were following that account would start to follow me because I was pushing that. And I'd just go around and I'd find small like hustlers, like hard workers, like genuine people in the industry, like just trying to scrap and make a business. And I'd find them and I'd push them out, and they appreciated it because like they weren't getting a lot of a lot of people looking at their accounts. So like it motivated them, but their followers would follow mine, and then now my followers would follow them and kind of support them. And then by doing that, after a while, I found myself getting the followers that I had kind of unintentionally, just because I was genuinely trying to promote, recognize the smaller businesses that were actually out there and doing the actual hard work, as opposed to those accounts that have 50,000 followers and, got a brand new mower from Exmark and I'm going to do a review on this mower. Like, I think people could kind of really appreciate more so the businesses that are actually out there doing the work.
Right. I think so. I mean, I think you should definitely follow the people that are doing great work and, promote them, because a lot of people, need that promotion and need that help out there. I think there's a lot of guys out there that, are on social media that, they're not out there to be that influencer, and they don't want to be that influencer. I don't want to be that influencer. I'd rather be the guy that sits back and just talks and tells them what my experiences are. And there's a lot of people that need that help. There's a lot of guys out there that need that help, and Josh is one of them. But just joking, Josh. JC's going to do his pillow talk. So, but yeah, I think there's so much out there. I mean, the green industry has changed in the last couple of years, and I think it could be for the plus, it could be for the bad. But if you're following somebody, follow them for the right reasons. Follow the people that are out there and they want to communicate with you. Nick from One Love's out there, he follows us. Ben from Acme follows us. There's a lot of people that follow us and we follow them back, and that's how this community continues to grow. And stepping outside the box every once in a while and picking up Tommy from Tim's lawn care, hey, that helps out. You bring him into that community, and he might be able to learn a little bit that what he's been looking for.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to shout out that someone in our chat is name is Brandon the Broker. He's actually a friend of mine that I talk to on social media quite a bit, and he's a real estate agent. So he's always had an interest in lawn care and basically been following me since I started my account. So that just shows like today, like how relevant that is, like for years. I think since 2016, 17, like we've been communicating. So like him being on this chat right here right now is just an example of how this community has kind of been able to engage within each other. So he's a funny dude, man. We go back and forth like bantering each other, but he's up in Alaska and he sells homes, but he really follows the industry.
Brendan the Broker, that's going to be $4.99 for that shout out. So you can
yeah. Anybody we sent out your name today, any little way that we said your name, just send us the money. Just go ahead and click on the Venmo app and send us the money. Okay.
You know that Cameo app where like celebrities like shout out like happy birthday.
Yeah.
We should start doing that within the lawn care industry.
Yep.
People go, who the fuck are these guys?
Oh,
yeah. My name is Josh. Happy birthday, you son of a bitch.
Oh yeah. So Josh is jumping water all over the place.
My dog is like trying to get my attention.
No, he's spilling it so he doesn't have to drink.
He's spilling it. Yeah, you got to lick it up off the counter if you spill it there, Josh.
Right. You know what? I haven't seen you take one sip of water this entire podcast, my friend.
Here. I haven't seen that
right
here. It started full.
Listen, you
said
right earlier saying you're pounding water. This is
that was yesterday.
I think,
look at this guy. He's got a Dunkin' and coffee.
Hey, that's where I'm going after the show. I'm going to get my donkeys.
No Danishes, bro. No Danishes.
No Danishes. It's been like boiled eggs is what I'm going to go after. Boiled eggs.
You're drinking boiled eggs? Wow.
Going to eat boiled eggs in place of my bakery.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean it works, right?
Listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm extremely happy that I didn't say I was gonna just like eat completely healthy because last night I went to the Seaport and I went to the smokehouse in the Seaport and I got this brisket and these beans and these potatoes, man. And I tell you, like, shout out to the smokehouse. This might have been like top 5 best food I've ever had in my life. Like everything was flavor, man.
Better than that Chicago pizza.
Yeah, fucking Ilio's Pizza on the street side. It's funny, you guys went out there. Mel was like, "See, they had real pizza and they tried it." I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, a street vendor should have some decent food. That's like you come out here, right? You come to Boston, and you catch the sausage guy, right? It's not out of this world sausage, but it's good. You know, it's at least a 5. You know, that was trash.
So for the people that are like that watch the podcast and see the cover, like that cover of the picture of the 3 of us was that was prior. So smiles on our faces.
That was prior to the pizza.
Yeah,
I think after the pizza we were all downhill. Yeah. Okay, so we learned some great stuff. I think we've had a great day today. Anything else you guys want to jump on and post and talk about real quick before we head out for the week?
I don't know. Second week of 75 hard. Let's see how it goes. I mean, I think I posted one short. I'm gonna try to start posting on IG on it. You know, if you guys
can you post you walking, because all I see is you just standing there like yeah, I'm doing this. See, I think you should post you walking, you know, or working out.
I'll do it early on because at that point I can't lift my arm up.
Oh my God, you gotta do a walk and talk with Josh Curvin.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, motherfuckers, this is what we're talking about today, okay?
Yeah.
These fucking cracks in the sidewalk. I can't stand it.
Oh God, I'm that guy walking on the street. They fucking potholes. God damn it. Fucking city. What are the taxes fucking paid for? Blah 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 blah.
Oh,
Joe
yep, I can see that. Yep. That's what happens when you get older.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. You still haven't taken a sip of water.
I did. Okay, everybody go back and tell how many times I've taken a sip of water. Here you go. Here, look, see it? It's right
Dude,
there.
right now on screen, drink that entire thing. Accountability. Chug it. Don't be no bitch.
Paul,
Finish it.
the 75 thing is called 75 hard. Google that. Make sure you type it correctly though, because something else might pop up on that Google search.
Yeah,
75 hard.
Yeah. Type it correctly, please.
75 hard, and it's a
Challenge.
75-day kind of mental and physical commitment.
Yeah, Paul, definitely type it the right way, please.
It's not 75 and hard.
Yeah.
If you really need to, have your wife type it, please.
75 hard.
It's a lot easier. Okay.
Andy Frisella's challenge.
Yep. So let's go into the second week off really good, guys, and let's finish it hard. So see you guys later. Have a great week. Thank you all for watching. Y'all have a great week, and I hope we got straight